everyone, I'm Mackayla. Welcome to the Soundtrack of Our Lives podcast. We're going to jump right in with the two hardest questions of all. Who are you and what have you been up to recently?
Awesome. Yeah, I'm Nicole Ash, and super excited to be back because I know we talked about this a little bit before, but I'm an alternative rock musician, so I play a lot of guitar and started to sing and start a solo project as well. So that's kind of what I've been up to. I've been releasing some singles over the past couple years, but recently I've been working on my debut EP. So that is what I've been working on. Two more songs ready to go, and they'll be out this month.
That's super exciting.
Yeah, I'm super excited about it. It's been a goal that I've had for quite some time.
What does it feel to finally be able to achieve that goal?
Well, it's not quite here just yet, but having the finished product already done and ready to go, it feels like really cool that I've always wanted to have a collection of work all together, because I'm really into concept albums and having songs tell a story together. So it feels super satisfying when you actually like achieve one of those music goals, especially because I feel like when you set goals for yourself, there's always this moving target, but this has been
Yeah.
like such a stepping stone for me. I mean, you could always put together a collection of music and everything and put it out whenever you want, but I really wanted to make sure when I made a first EP that it was something I was super proud of and something that really told that story and it wasn't just, a random collection of songs.
So, what story are you trying to tell with this EP?
It's one that has a lot to do. It's actually, if you look into like all the songs, especially the ones that are about to come out,
Mhm.
those two songs are a little bit darker than the previous ones, where those showed a little bit of like different emotions of love. And yes, like it had anger in it, and a lot of like finding peace and nostalgia. And then these next two have to do a little bit more with mental health and thinking about the darker side of what I've gone through. All of these songs really tell my story from especially like the past 2, 3 years, of so many different emotions that I've been through. And the EP is called Never Better, and it's meant to be super ironic of like, you can feel completely lost going through all of these things. You can feel all those kinds of emotions. And ultimately the story is me from the past couple years, but the message is more of like it's okay to feel completely lost.
Mhm.
The closing song on this EP doesn't even really fully have that answer figured out because I didn't have it. And to be honest, I don't know if any of us do, but it's telling that story of like, you can go through complete upheaval in your life. And it's just a reminder that it's okay to not have it all figured out.
Mhm.
And you can be like, never better, but still be able to move throughout life.
Yeah, I don't think we can ever have it all figured out.
No, no, not at all.
It's one of life's great mysteries.
Exactly. Yeah, we always try to seem like we have something figured out, but I don't think anyone really does. But this definitely taps into these last two songs really tap into the mental health side of things, which has
Mhm.
been really core to even like why I started music in the first place. It's always been my therapy and why I started music. So it feels good too. This is the first time I'm actually putting out something quite so vulnerable in a way that it has to do with that topic. And that's really why I write in the first place. So that feels really rewarding too.
Is it scary to put out something that vulnerable?
A little bit because, especially in a way for me, like having a presence on social media when I'm like, okay, like here's like positivity. And I want to spread that positivity,
Hmm.
but at the same time, like so real. Like I went through some really difficult stuff over the past couple years. And even one of the songs has been something I've dealt with like my entire life. So where I kind of feel split between this super creative side. I feel like a lot of artists probably feel this, where like you have your super creative side, and this is what like your dreams, your passions, and then you also have this other side of you of like, okay, this is what I need to do or am expect to do in life,
Hmm.
or I've been down this road for so long. This is how I like make my passions happen. But my entire life, I've really felt split in two. So I wrote like about that. So that feels really vulnerable too, like actually expressing that. And yeah, it feels different than the other ones in a good way.
Hmm. I think that's something people don't talk about enough, the split in two.
Do you feel that too?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, like, I
Yeah,
have my day job where I do activities at a senior living facility, and then I come home and I'm doing this.
right. And what's so interesting is, and I know that this isn't the case, but like, you always look at other people's lives and see like the good things about it. And you're like, man, like, even these artists who work their day job to support their music dreams, it's like, man, like they like you can tell they're so passionate about music, which I am too. But it's like
Hmm.
I actually also really like the other aspects of myself, and I've always struggled to pull in. I work corporate 9 to 5, and it's like I've always. And it's not just about that, but I feel like I've had not necessarily masks in a way to hide, but kind of like hide from myself of
Hmm.
like I don't necessarily trust myself putting my whole emo self out there sometimes, and I like shouldn't be afraid of that. But I feel like I've had that extreme split for so long, and yeah,
Yeah,
it's
there's
so
just this.
interesting.
It's like you like you said. It's like two different like people. It's like two versions of Mackayla or
No, right,
Nicole. Like,
exactly. Yeah. So that song is called Alter Ego, which I think is fitting.
yeah, I think that's such an interesting concept to talk about because I think most people probably experience that. Not even just musicians. Like when you're at work, you're probably somebody a little different than you are in your normal life.
Totally. Yeah. And it's kind of also written from a place, because again, for me, like I totally understand that, you can have different facets of yourself come out more in different social circles or
Yeah.
different situations. Like that part is normal, but I think I've internally, it has been almost, I wouldn't say like debilitating or anything, but it's been like such a strong split. Like I joke about this too. I've always at least not anymore, but I like growing up, I always had like two social media accounts. I would keep this very separate from this. Like my
Hmm.
music stuff was very separate. People didn't know about it. And like, yeah, I feel like I'm more and more trying to like just combine like, hey, this is me,
Yeah.
and we should all be more okay with that. So this song is more honestly like it's the heaviest song I have. It's kind of like screaming because I feel like sometimes you just want to be like that, like I can be all these things, but sometimes like people don't necessarily see the music sides or
Hmm.
the, more corporate side. But like I still like all those things, and those things are all me, and I don't ever want to lose those different facets just because I am a musician or I do work this other kind of job or,
Hmm. I think it's so interesting when people finally like kind of see all the facets of somebody. You definitely
hmm
change how you view them
Yeah, yeah, that's true too.
because you learn who they really are.
Yeah. And I mean, I think there's a little bit of nervousness around releasing that too because of how the lyrics are written, and it's talking about these masks and everything. And it's not at all coming from a place of inauthenticity. It's like
Hmm.
actually coming from a place of like way more of that and wanting more people to feel that come together. But how I'm expressing it is the frustration.
Yeah. So, if you were to go back to the beginning of this journey of creating this EP, what advice would you give to yourself?
Um, I think that I mean, I got really vulnerable in this with those things, but I think just like I'm really proud of how everything turned out, so I probably wouldn't like change anything really. I would let myself like lean into it even more, where I think we may have talked about this the last time we spoke, but the first release, I was like, oh man, I have this really cheesy line. I don't know if I should put it in there. And I'm so glad that it's in there. It's actually like my favorite line from the first song, where it's like, your smile cures my depression or heals my depression. I was like, that's so cheesy. But I think I I probably wouldn't change anything. My advice would just be like lean into it more. There are other songs. I released a song called Stitch the Thread about like a past friendship where I got like really vulnerable about like, hey, I genuinely miss this person even though they're not in my life anymore.
Mhm.
And letting all of that like creativity really pull through in a music video and stuff. I don't know if that answers your question well.
It does. So, going forward, what are you going to take from this experience to kind of help the rest of your journey?
This makes me want to like obviously I want to write even more now. But and that's where I feel like I really thrive. And I think what I would love to do with especially how I'm writing these songs, like these songs definitely tell a story. They do come together in a collection and everything. Like I mentioned, I'm a huge fan of like actually creating like the concepts. I do write sometimes from other people's point of views or like love creating stories. So I think in the future, I would also love to do more music or more collections, whether it's EP or album, where it truly tells a story, whether it's
Hmm.
through my lens, whether it's like fictional, but like something where I'm taking those real stories and creating like an entire character arc. I feel like this EP, even though it's a collection, it is unfinished. So I'm like, what could I create next that could go even deeper into the story? Because I just kind of nerd out about that.
That would be a very cool concept.
Yeah. So yeah, I've written stuff like that and like have had ideas in the past, but never actually like fully made that. So
Hmm.
I will probably be expanding on more of like the stories that I've already written.
Are you doing anything to celebrate, like personally, when you drop the EP?
I mean, right now, like, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be celebrating because it's a big deal. I also just got married, so my husband is gonna be here and we're gonna be celebrating. So I'm very excited about that. But yeah, we're yeah.
That's exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited for you guys. And it's going to be
Thanks.
exciting to celebrate this big milestone.
Yeah. And that's something too. I don't think I necessarily have in the past celebrated enough. So I'll probably like do some. I know when I did my first ever single, my friend sent me a cake. So I'm like, I should actually like do these things for myself.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I don't know if you're the same way, but I sometimes like don't celebrate myself enough on especially like these big
Mhm.
milestones. So I definitely need to do something even bigger.
We all need to celebrate ourselves.
Yeah.
Little wins, even too.
Totally.
Everything is important.
Yeah. Agreed.
So, how do you manage, your social media, your EP, working on that, and your corporate job?
A lot of determination. I feel like sometimes you need to have a certain kind of grit towards the things that you absolutely love doing, where you like make it no other option. So, I mean, I've worked a corporate job since I graduated, and I always made time for music and social media. So that became part of the routine of,
Mhm.
when I was home from work, then I would be actually like, working on building up that social media presence. And then writing was always my form of expression in my free time too. So like, I think now with what I'm doing with social media, it's not just creating these guitar covers, it's expanded into even more. So, part of that is, how can I connect with people through I've done a lot more of like storytelling around my songs or what I'm going through personally, and like having that relate to the songs too. So I think what I've realized is it's not just about like creating the content to push it out and be like, okay, here's what I'm doing with social media. It's like, how do you take what you're doing every day? How do you take the stories of your song, the stories of your life, and then like just, document throughout, so that the social media doesn't feel like this big,
Mhm.
it like should never feel like a burden. So like how are you actually just using that as a vessel to continue telling your story just as music is. So pretty much when I'm not working, then I'm probably doing something music related.
Sounds
There's
very
always work.
busy.
I am a workaholic a bit, so
I think you have to be if you want to make it work.
right,
Yeah, you have to put in the 9 to 5 and then the 5 to 9.
totally. So yeah, I'm constantly thinking about all those things. When I'm not working, then I'm dedicating to something music related probably, or trying to actually schedule in time for myself.
I find that's the thing I always forget to schedule in.
Yeah, no, I've actually had to like remember to put that into my schedule sometimes.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, wait, I need to take time for myself? What?
Right, right. Yeah, because I've been through that too, of like just trying to push through everything. Especially, during the time of some of these events happening
Mhm.
in the EP. It's like I kept pushing through despite, like major upheaval in my life. So sometimes you need to do that too. But luckily, music is such a great form of just expressing and letting it out so that you can heal from those things and make art.
I'm glad that you found this creative outlet for your emotions.
Yeah, gravitated towards it since I was like, I don't know, five or something.
That's awesome. When you were 5, did you know you wanted to make music?
Yeah, I always knew I wanted to make music. At that age, though, and even honestly, through high school, like I didn't get my first guitar until I was 16, didn't actually like really play, I would say, until I was like 23. So, uh, I feel like my entire life, it felt like this faraway goal. I know we just
Mhm.
talked about, these moving targets and like these goals that you have. So I always felt like someone who was late to the game and always wanted to do music, but it always felt like this far away thing. So that's why it means so much too of, being on this road thinking, okay, this is what I've done. I did school, I did my work. This is what's expected of me, and being like, no, it's never too late to actually do this other side of me that has been like my calling and goal since I was a little kid. So like you can always make time for that.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah, it's never too late to try something.
totally. Yeah, that's part of what I always stand for.
So, before I ask the last question, is there anything else you want to mention or talk about today?
No, not really. This is great. I love anyone who, especially if you're into emo stuff or alternative rock and you're listening to this, definitely go check out the EP. So that's out February 13th, Friday the 13th. And yeah, super excited about it. And more to come.
Did you choose it because it was a Friday the 13th?
Not necessarily, but when I was like, oh, it happens to be Friday the 13th, I was like, Yeah, that's pretty badass. I was
Okay,
like,
so,
I'll
yeah.
remember that one.
So normally I ask, what is the soundtrack of your life? But I want to ask, is the Homecoming album by Green Day still the soundtrack of your life? That is
Ooh,
what you said last time.
okay. Well, yes, that was a great question. You know what? That would be, I don't know. I might still say that. I think that that is a really great one of just like kind of like coming back to yourself and all. And I love Green Day, but this would be a cop out. But I would also say like, this EP is the soundtrack of my life
I mean, you
recently.
wrote it, so it makes
Yeah,
sense.
so
You wrote the soundtrack
I
of your
would say
life.
that. But Homecoming from Green Day is definitely a great one for that from another artist. But yeah, I would say, and if I were to choose like one song on this EP, it would probably be the closer because it encapsulates everything of just, exactly what I said of the message. It's called Better Off Alone, and you don't have to have everything figured out to move forward. And I feel like that's what we're all doing. That's what I'm doing of like you figure out what you can, but you shouldn't stop moving forward just
Mhm.
because you don't know what's next or you're afraid to move forward on something.
Yeah, that is a very hard thing to overcome.
Yeah. Great question though.
So for anyone who wants to stay updated on you, hear the EP, follow you along this journey, where can they find you?
Anywhere that says Nicole Ash, probably, or Guitar by Nicole. I'm on social media, especially Instagram, but like Spotify, Apple Music, all Nicole Ash.
Awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today.
Thank you. Yeah, you too.
Just have a nice rest of your day.
You too.
Bye.